they come.
Now, as in their sleep, the riflemen were surprised, captured, or slaughtered wholesale. The British were actually able to get the password from them, allowing them to creep even closer to the American camp, allowing them to launch a surprise. It was actually noted that the British could have gotten closer, but one over-enthusiastic British officer raised a cheer of victory a little too soon, allowing the Americans to respond.
Because you're tiny and really late.
Are you guys watching? Yeah.
Now you'll notice the American pickets in front of us here, they're spread out. This is known as light infantry drill for the time period. Troops would spread out and support each other, oftentimes in pairs, and they would try to stagger their fire at the enemy. The pickets and light infantry duty, they have a similar duty. They're not meant to stop an enemy or do anything of great damage. They're meant to harass, slow down, and give warning to the rest of the army. You also notice they're kneeling, which makes them a smaller target. And one of the most common questions we get asked is, why on earth did they stand up 200 years ago? Well, it's the muskets. With the muskets of this time period, you have to load them using your ramrod, and the easiest way to do so is standing up. So if you want to get more lead across the battlefield than your enemy, just stand up. Kneeling or lying down, what's going to do it for you?
Let's go, Scouts. So as the British pushed against the American camp, American units nearby rushed forward to join into the action. In the confusion, many of them got jumbled up, lost their officers, and began listening to other officers, because anybody could give them commands. And this breakdown in command made the American forces a lot less coherent in the way that they could resist. Fearing that it might be a larger attack, many of the forces further flung out in the American camp refused to move, believing that they could be part of an attack at any moment as well. And so they hunkered down. Excellent volley at the far end there by some of the British forces. Volleys was another thing that made the musket a more effective weapon. Standing up and firing en masse. Many people, again, it comes back to our modern sensibilities, is standing up and appearing to take turns firing seem like the best idea. But quite frankly, yes. The muskets of the time period are smoothbore flintlocks. I mentioned those rifles earlier. Only a small number of troops had those rifled muskets. It was cheaper and faster for a soldier to load and fire if he was using a smoothbore. But that means accuracy is out the window. At a good, well-trained soldier, 50, 60 yards, yeah, he can hit what he's aiming at. But the rate of variance meant that at 100 yards, you potentially could miss a target 9 feet in any direction. Most battles are fought at 200 yards, so you can figure out the odds of hitting something, even if it was the broadside of a barn. So, firing the volleys helps counteract that problem. You're using volume of fire. It also counteracts another problem, because as you've been watching, you may have noticed sometimes when the soldiers pull the trigger, nothing happens. Being a flintlock means it's a piece of flint striking a piece of steel to create a spark, ignites powder in a side pan, which travels through a clutch hole into the main charge inside the barrel. That's a lot of steps, and it's exposed to the elements. Not to mention mentioned, black powder is extremely temperamental in dampness. Wind can blow it away. It's almost like sand, how easy it can blow away. So that means that in good conditions, a flintlock can misfire as often as 20% of the time. If it's windy, rainy, or snowy, or the musket's in an odd mood, you've got to stick. So by firing those volleys, you have the volume to ensure that a working musket is going to hit something, even at 200 yards away. So, much as it seems silly, this is the best way to fight. Now you can start to see one of the problems of the black powder battlefield: smoke. Black powder produces 20 times its own volume in thick blue-gray smoke, so it did not take long for a field to become covered in the smoke, the infamous fog of war. Now, probably the most common question everyone wants to know is, why do the British wear bright red standing on an open field? Well, the thickness of that smoke, a bright uniform identifies different